So you've been sitting with nothing but your thoughts here in the preseason, and I imagine you've been sizing up the competition around you. Based on first impressions, who are giving you some good vibes and not so good vibes of your fellow castaways?
This is the best question you ask, and no one ever gives you a satisfying answer. Let's break it down. I'll go through
Okay.
all of them. Like, freaking. Okay, so at the top, all right. Okay. All right, I'm an RJP patron. I'm heavily involved. It goes without saying. I know who Asia Welch is. I could give you 10 fun facts about Asia Welch. We have the same birthday. She loves her dogs. I know a lot about her. And I feel like we're going to click really, really well. And if I ever get a chance to link up with her, I'm definitely down to work with her deep into the game. Um, so let's put her at the top.
Before we even got here, when we were on the airport, the moment we like hit the lobby, right? You're eyeing everyone and their behaviors. You're seeing who smiles back at you, who's like giving signs of you're willing to work with, sensing their vibe. And I do have a few key players in mind, guys and girls, who I would love to align with, hopefully. Of
Well,
course, I've never
describe.
heard them speak, but
Well, go ahead
sorry,
to
what?
describe them to me to the best of your
Okay.
ability. I'd love to hear who they are.
Okay, so there's this one woman, from her bags we know initials, okay?
Mhm.
So it's RL, okay? Very, very sweet, seemed very calm and composed, and I can tell she's very smart as well. I think me and her, just from the eye contact already, that's all that it was needed, purely based on intuition here. Got good vibes from her. Um, there is another guy, again, very smiley, very happy, very excited. I don't know his initials exactly, but he looks like a skater boy wearing his Vans. I feel also similarly vibes with him. Again, very kind eyes, looks very nice. On the opposite though, am I allowed to
Yeah.
say things that
Oh, please
I'm
open it
parking?
up. Yes. The
Okay,
library's open.
so the thing is that I find myself to be a very introspective person and I journal a lot. So I'm keeping tabs on all of the people who are also journaling just as much because I mean, that's someone to watch out for because if you're as introspective as I am, that is a big red flag for me. So SP, those are his initials. He's journaling a lot. Got my eyes on him. Definitely seems like a strategic, smart player. Could be a great alliance member, obviously, if we're aligned. However, also dangerous to watch out with. He also seems like he could be a really big challenge threat.
Hmm.
And then who else? Oh, TH could be a someone that I would align with. Vibes. She also very smart. You could just tell. But also seems down to earth. Anyways, there's also things that I'm looking at as in such and like their behaviors, their mannerisms, how they talk to the staff, like all of their little things I'm paying attention to constantly and journaling about them immediately. So,
Oh, okay. I will say, so when I say, so I do want to find a brother, and that's because the men are so hard to read this season. I don't know what it
Mm.
is. I don't know what it is, but when we are all together, they're just like stone face. Like, I'm like, give me a smile. Show me you're happy to be here. The women smiling, just grins all like I swear we're hurting our cheeks smiling at each other, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is positive vibes. Certain people like within the guys, I'm just like, I know it's gonna be a challenge. So that's what makes me want to engage in
Ooh, playing
a
hard
relationship.
to get.
Yeah, even more. I'm like, I see you don't want it, so that's why I'm gonna want it for you. I want you to be like, wow, this girl, I did not think we were gonna have a connection, but I don't know. That has been my strength in life is just like no matter the differences, we're gonna find a connection in some way, some shape or form. And the other thing that I was concerned about, obviously, my relation to RHAP, who would recognize me, right? So obviously, I know that some people have recognized me. One person in particular I do know has recognized me, just the look on his face. And then obviously, there's another person. Well, I guess not obviously, but there's another person, KP. I feel like because he like looks at me like when we first saw each other, he looked at me in a way that felt like, do I know you? But I know I don't
Hmm.
know him. from somewhere, right? And so yeah, that's one thing that's going to be interesting to see if that plays a part in just like our love for RHAP. Are we going to have a connection? Are you going to think just because I do the draft that I'm a threat, which shouldn't be the case. So I want to be able to form connections so they know like, look, it's a hobby. That's not anything that's threatening, please. I this is this that's like this is all of our first time playing Survivor. We have no idea what we're about to face. We have no idea what Jeff and Survivor is going to throw at us. And so it's just like we have to navigate that. We have to be ready for the unknown, be adaptable, and we're all doing that. No one is on any kind of like different playing field just because they talk too much about something.
There's a lot of people I'm getting some good vibes from. Honestly, there's a ton, but it's like it's hard because it's still very much so vibes. I don't know if they're going to be my ride or die, but I'm trying to think of how to describe them. It sucks because I really actually don't like it when people compare current contestants to past contestants as if we're
Mm.
all just like one big cookie cutter. But all I have is like looks for right now and kind of vibes. Tentatively, there's like someone who's reminding me of Austin from season 45. Like he just seems like he's very like happy-go-lucky, great positive energy. Like I am so excited to get to know him. There is also this woman who is here, and I was so impressed because after we did Survivor Safety School, when they give us some like survival tips and
Hmm.
tricks, and then they gave us a little packet for it to study. She didn't look at the packet. She was like, I got this. I'm good. It's all fine. I would love to have her on my tribe. I feel like she knows how to build a shelter.
Who's
And
this? Who's this? Describe this to me because I'm intrigued now.
absolutely. Um, she is someone who has like tan skin. She has her hair up in a bun frequently. And she just has like a very stoic, positive energy too. Like I'm just excited to get to know her as like a human being, honestly.
Mm,
Um, is that enough of a description, maybe?
definitely. I'm gonna go over to the other side though, because I'm sure there are some people that you're not exactly feeling out. Do you have any descriptors for those?
Yep. Yeah, I have one. Oh, also the woman, I just now remembered. Her
Oh, sure.
initials are TH, by the way. I'm trying to remember people's initials. The initials of someone who I'm intrigued by, and not in like a very positive way. His initials are SP. And so here's the thing. I feel he's someone where I think he knows his first impression is a little bit of maybe like a jock. Maybe he comes across as a little stern. But what he's doing is the book that he's brought here is like a Sarah J. Maas game of, I think it's called Thorn of Glass or something. Basically, it's a chick fic book. Like it is a book that's all the rage right now. Or the women are reading it. They're loving it. I'm reading one of her books as well.
My
But
my my wife has Throne of Glass, I think, in our bedroom right
yes,
now.
yes, and it's good, but it's an absolute chick flick. And what I think he's doing, and I've actually seen guys do this before, is they're like, "Oh, I have depth to me. Look at me read this book." And so he like, keeps like flashing it around for everyone to see. But I'm watching him. He's not even really reading it. He's like this way, like through, and he's just assuming that he can like throw around this book, and we'll all be like, "Wow, he has so much depth." So I've been debating whether or not I want to show him that I'm reading one of those books. But my hot take, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, is that like I don't know if he'll, based on how the fact he's not reading the book, I don't know if he's going to respect people who read Sarah J. Maas. I wonder if he's reading it and just thinking like, man, this is trash. I wonder who reads this. So I don't know. I don't trust him.
The older woman on the cast, older blonde woman, I'm really hoping she's on my tribe day one. I really want to work with her. I think just older people in general, don't get so caught up in their emotions because they've experienced more, they lived more. And I think that would be good for me as a younger guy because I can kind of ground myself, with that. And B, I think that in a cast of predominantly younger people, they're gonna naturally feel like outcast day one. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm, 20 years everyone's senior here. Where's my place with all these college, fresh out of college kids?" And I want to be the first person to extend that olive branch and say, "Hey, I'll be your best friend on this island if you ride with me to the end." So I'm really hoping that she can be on my tribe day one. That would be my number one overall draft pick, if you will. And then I'll throw one more person out there.
Yeah.
Um, there's an Asian gentleman who just through chance, we've kind of been sat next to each other in a lot of
Mhm.
different things that we've done out here so far. Um, so obviously they've been very strict, no communication and nothing like that. But there seems to just be a aura of recognizableness, if you will, if that's a word. But just an aura of familiarity. That's the word I'm looking for. Of like, okay, if I'm sitting like I've sat next to this guy more than anybody else so far, so
Mm.
clearly, like if something funny happens, or like just the other day, as a little behind the scenes, um, we had a bird swoop down on one of the other contestants' tables, and it started picking at our food,
Oh,
and then it flew away, and everybody was like, "Oh my!" We all everybody was kind of silently laughing to themselves. The first person I looked at was this guy, and we both kind of just gave each other like, "Could you believe that that just happened?" Kind of looked to each other. And I don't think I would be able to do that with anybody else. And I think that's just because, again, of the limited amount of time we've spent out here, I've kind of spent the most in that guy's region. Um, so it's so hard to tell. It's such a hard question to answer because we don't know anything about each other. We haven't spoken, and we're all kind of just looking at each other sweat by the pool. Um, but I would probably say those two are the two people who I early on have pegged as potential allies.
what about on the opposite side? Who are you planning to swoop down on like that bird on that contestant's poor lunch?
So again, this is tough because God forbid I have pre-game enemies going in, and then they could be great allies, but I'm so stuck in my ways of like, no, this person needs to go.
Mm.
Um, there's a younger blonde girl who's been walking around who, seems like a great person, but has been writing a lot and kind of has this tendency to look at somebody and then write. And
Mm.
so I'm like, okay, clearly you're making a lot of judgments about people, about every small thing that they do. And I don't know if it will necessarily translate into a productive game, but I think it will prove to be an erratic game. I
Mm.
think that's something that, like, this person got up and they turned away from their table in this way. What does that mean? And I think sometimes when you get caught up in all of those tiny little details, it's like you kind of miss the bigger picture of what's going on. And it's like, oh, well, is this person signaling that they don't want to work with me? Is this person trying to form an alliance with this person by turning that way in their chair? And it's like those people are erratic. And then and when erratic people and when chaotic people enter the game, I mean, 46 is on TV right now, so we can all see what erratic and chaotic people can do in a game of Survivor. They can blow up other people's game, and God forbid my game. So I'm kind of looking at the people who are taking a lot of notes pre-game, because I think that, and I've done, my fair bit of it, but I think when you're analyzing every little thing, and there's been a couple of people who have been doing that, I'm like, you, you know, that's not a good mindset to take into this game, because it just causes chaos. It causes paranoia within yourself, and paranoia within yourself spreads like a virus to everybody else. And I want to avoid those people as much as possible, or at least I want to avoid them and the folks I want to work with. So even if I don't necessarily take them out, at worst, I'm trying to get them out of the game. At best, I'm utilizing them as tools to create chaos to further my game.
Okay. There is an older woman with like beautiful long blonde hair, and she's clearly very fit. And her and I both like drank our welcome drink excessively quickly and like made eyes at each other. And I was like, yes, you. So I would really love to work with her. Who else? There's a man with sort of short curly hair that every time he like does a lap around the pool, he gives me eyes and a smile, and I give him a smile, and he's also up in the middle of the night, like he's a bad sleeper just like me. So those are two people that like stick out on my radar as people that I will get along really well with.
Hmm.
Was there also a part two? Did you want me to say who I don't want?
Oh, you read
Offer
me
that.
loud and clear. Absolutely. Objection, leading the witness.
Oh, you're good. You're hired. Do you want to trade jobs?
I'll be the trademark. Insert the blank here. But yeah, give me some people that you're sussing out a little bit.
Okay, there's one man with long curly hair who like avoids making eye contact with me like the plague. And I'm if you can imagine, I can't sit still for like 8 hours as they have us sequestered. So I also do laps around the pool like a hamster on a wheel. And every time I'm like trying to catch him, and he's like this, like he'll turn to stone if he looks at my eyes. So he's on my radar, but I don't know, maybe
Mm.
he'll be the nicest person ever and I'll have a terrible read. When you talk to him, like, see, does he look at you? Maybe it's just me.
You know, again, I'm sure I am getting scoped out and like evaluated left and right. Fine. I'm sure that's a valuable thing to do. I'm kind of stepping back and looking around and I'm just thinking like, where am I, where are my gays and my theys, you know? Uh, that's one thing. There's somebody who brought a book of math puzzles, and I'm feeling very good about that person. I'm also envious of their math puzzles. Um, and it's funny. No one can speak, and so everyone's trying to convey warmth and openness. And what that ends up meaning is just everybody's kind of stoic, and then their faces kind of catch each other and they shoot each other these charismatic high
Mm.
wattage grins, the same ones that got them casted, at each other over and over again. And there's yeah, I
Mm.
don't know.
Well, what about on the other side? Is there anybody that you're not picking up some good vibes from? Or to your point, is it just everyone stonewalling, so it's tough to discern?
You know, I there's a couple guys who have a kind of quiet confidence that I find threatening. You know, that
Interesting.
they're like there's a lot of concern in this. Everyone is very aware of how they're being perceived and
Mm.
and you feel that impacting just their little movements through the world. You know, when you're at a restaurant and you're with a friend and you realize that on either side of you there's somebody dining alone,
Mm.
and you know that they're kind of listening because you know that they can't help it, you know? Everyone here is dining alone. Everyone here is doing that, and you just see it kind of like you just see the kind of attention like wash back and forth across this group of people. And I am I am resistant. I feel it, like the urge to be like, oh, they're my person, they're not my person. Maybe true, but maybe not. So
Mm.
I'm fighting this, maybe to my detriment. I don't know.
So immediately the best vibes I've gotten so from have been, I think his name is KO, like this
Mm-hmm.
white dude with a scruffy beard, wears a hat. Um, Big fan of him. I feel like he's very observant. He's been like the only one who, in addition to me, has like observed the structure and like the building that we're in, has looked around and kind of just been like looking around. And in addition, is like always friendly, smiles. I notice like he takes his plates up to the front. I don't know, just a very kind human being, it seems like. Love the vibe. There's been certain people who like you can like smile at, or you see their like general demeanor and it's very like kind and happy, and like I gravitate towards those people. And then there's certain people who I haven't gotten those vibes.
Talk to
There's
me
someone,
about that. Yeah, let's
yeah.
do it.
Oh my god. Okay. So there's TC, um, short hair,
Mm-hmm.
kind of short person. Um, every single time I smile, they don't smile back. And like I like sit directly across from them and like I just nothing. I'm like, come on. Like literally, like all we can do right now is just like share a small little grin and like nothing back. I also haven't gotten great vibes from what's their name? What's their initials? AW? African American, curly hair, girl. Again, similar. I actually was on the shuttle with them to the
Mm.
hotel, and I kind of assumed that they were also on the show because like young person with like one to two big pieces of luggage, not really talking or interacting around. I'm like, okay, like of course. And they again didn't really like smile or like give me any reciprocal feedback or like any like just any like emotions back. So not really getting a good. And then another person, I definitely do not know her name, and this is the most vague description, so I apologize. I know where she sits, but like I think Cece or Cece, no, like small, petite, white woman, like really small, petite, really nice, but like she's so clumsy. She's like so messy so far. Like at the airport, she assumed one of like the contestants was like one of the like crew people. And I was like, girl, how did you not notice? Like we were all standing in a circle and like you saw each other's face. Like, how did you think this person was like a crew person and not one of us? Not observant. You know, you need to be way more observant than that, girl.
Oh man, that's tough because like they, you don't know anybody's names. All you like at most you get like a little smirk here or there or something like that. Um, the amount of traveling that I've done and the different social classes and things that I've intertwined myself with, I've really got a good idea for different personalities and just like
Mhm.
that exist in the world. So I've been able to pick up a little bit of that, whether it's true or not. I have a feel on some, but there's I don't even know how to explain them. There's one girl and one guy that I found so far that I just have really good vibes about. I really hope that they're on a tribe with me. The one girl, she's got like a nose piercing.
Okay.
Um, I think she's got green pants on today, maybe a brown top. She's got like kind of frizzy big hair that she
Mhm.
wears up, or when she lets it down, it's just like uber long. Um, the guy, he is like, I don't know, how do you explain it? He's he seems like he's in touch with himself. He's physically fit, but not like muscular, beefy kind of physically fit. He just looks like somebody that would take care of themselves and is open to people as they are, not necessarily classifying people. He just looks like a very open person.
Mm.
So it's pretty attractive in a is a personality trait, especially in this game.
Now, I know you said that you don't want to necessarily hurt people. I will ask you though, is there anyone else that, as you said, you're a good study of different personality types? Is there a personality type you're picking up on right now that might not be someone you'd vibe with on a tribe?
Um, there's a few people here that just don't show emotion, man. Like I don't know
Mm.
if it's their gameplay or what it is, but like I like to smile. And when I look at you, I like to smile. And smiles are contagious. And some of these people don't pick up smile at all. And so it just the lack of emotion and like it just makes me wonder like, what is your personality type? Like I have no idea at this point. I'm so excited to see what it is and I hope that something becomes of it because I'd like to work with some of them. But as far as that lack of emotion, I'm just like, I don't know where you stand, and I don't know if that can be trusted because, like, good energy bonds with good energy. And if I'm throwing energy at you and you're not picking up any of it, what do I do with that?
You know, I knew you were gonna ask this question, and it's funny because I genuinely like all of these people seem really, really great, and I that sounds like such a cop out, but genuinely, I feel like it would be easier to be like, who am I not vibing with? But which is not. There's not even that many people
I
either.
was gonna
But
say, I was gonna like, if it's easier to do the opposite, then let's go to the opposite end. Then I'll get shady with you.
well, there's like one person that is just not like making too much eye contact, not giving very many smiles. Like everyone seems very friendly, and this guy is seems just like he was wearing like a shirt that said Macho Man on the first day, so it's like maybe it's me and not, like I don't know, I'm not a macho man. But yeah, I as far as good vibes go, I really like there's like an Indian girl that I just like she just seems very bubbly and personable, and I don't know, I also feel like this is a little biased because I feel like the people I feel the best about are the people that are sitting just happen to be sitting closest to me at Ponderosa. So like I feel like there is like you see them enough and then feel a little more comfortable. So I don't know, this could all be very biased, but then there's this like younger black guy who I call Snacks because the very first day the head of Ponderosa was like, do not have food in your tent like at night or ants will like just come in droves. And so I like handed him like the pack of gum that I had in my bag, and that guy opens his backpack and it's just like an entire backpack full of snacks. Like it was like Skittles and Doritos and like it was just bag after bag after bag. They like grabbed this giant gallon bag and he was like shoving it, or like it's like a 2 gallon bag, just shoving it full of snacks. And I was like, that's my kind of person, like just prepared with all the snacks. So I really like him.
Yeah, there's a few that are giving me, the real nice smiles, and the head nods when you see them because you can't do anything verbally, so you just gotta,
Yeah.
just do that and keep it moving. And so there's been a lot of people that have been giving me that, mainly because I'm typically always smiling anyway. So like, it's pretty easy to smile back at someone already smiling. So I do think it's pretty interesting. I don't know if some of the girls might have been giving away what tribe they're going to be on because there's a lot of toenails that are painted in red or blue. So, I'm just saying that I'm noticing who might be on my tribe already. So, you're able to give those extra smiles and things like that. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, what about on the other side? Is there anyone that's giving you red flags or red toes, as it were?
Yes, yes, there is this guy that reminds me of one of my friends growing up. He's got some big curly hair. I have smiled at him, I think 5, 7, 8 times. He has never smiled back, never given anything. So I'm like, all right, you can go, bro. Like if you're not even trying to smile, like you can just see you later. Like
Man, so this was a person that I first reaction was like not about, and the more that I've just seen them, I love them. It's an older woman with blonde hair. Her name SS are her initials, I believe.
Okay.
And she's got like she wore like a Louis Vuitton bag and Louis Vuitton slides out here, which I was like, okay, that's a bold choice off the bat. She talks probably more than anybody else, like very talkative. I don't know. I just love her. I get great vibes. Like I just want to talk to her. I want to be friends with her. There's another girl as well. I trying to figure out like maybe like Hawaiian. I think she's reading a book about like how to speak Hawaiian and has like a Hawaiian shirt on one day. Like darker skin, dark curly hair. She's all smiles, and I like that. I think it might be a little bit dangerous, but overall, if she's on my tribe, I think I'm going straight to her and trying to be like, "Hey, let's do this thing
Now,
for
how
sure."
about on the how about on the other side?
Mm, I don't want to judge any books by their cover.
That
However,
being said, yeah.
yes, but I'm going to do it. There, there is one guy. He's like a shorter guy, white dude with like, honestly, I can't tell if he's like 20 or 40. I don't know what his age is whatsoever. It's very odd to me. He doesn't smile at all. And like, he kind of just like feels very like calculated walking around. Like he looks like a thinker. And I'm very wary of him coming into this. So we'll
Hmm.
see. Like I said, I'll give him a shot, but I'm nervous about that one.
All right, so there's this woman here. She has like long blonde hair. She seems like she's a little older, but she's like a MILF. Like she's a hot mom. You can tell. She looks like she's like a surfer, like yoga instructor. She just is like smiling, just making all these like, and she just looks like a free spirit. And I just think she looks like a badass, and I think we could definitely dominate together. I see a kid, he's like a taller kid, looks a little strong, let me not say that. See a taller kid and he looks strong and just like athletic. And I'm like, you know what, let's crush it. Let's kill the challenges together if we're working together. Um, who else? A lot of smiles out here. Like there's a
Hmm.
few, it's only a few where you're like, oh, all right, I'll go in the next direction. But most
Well,
people,
let's name
yeah.
names then, or I guess you don't know their names, but like, tell me about who those people are.
Yes, well, you know what's so funny? So I've created like all of these little like I have on my notebook like a list of like, okay, I'm like, there's a mini Austin out here, like from season
Hmm.
45. He looks literally like Austin, but a little shorter. I'm like, there's a mini Sabaya here. There's when I say I mean like almost like a little replica. Um, who else? Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely been interesting. There's a really tall guy. He looks like he could literally be in the NFL, and you can just tell like he's a goofball. And I'm like, I think like we would definitely get along too, and just like kick it and just be funny and just like shoot the shit together. Um, yeah, but it's funny. On my notebook, I'm like, this person has a tattoo down their leg, and then like what I've noticed about them, this person's painting out here, this person's reading, this person I noticed was awake at 3 in the morning when I went to the bathroom. So it's like you pick up on these little cues where you're like, huh, okay, we know who the early risers are, we knew who's a little like more difficult to get up out of bed. So it's little things like that I'm definitely picking up on.
It's a hard question to ask or answer because, we're just here chilling, but
Oh yeah.
there's one person, um she's the shortest person here. and just got a very warm smile. And every time I've looked at her, um, we've just like, I don't know, I'm feeling it at least. I'm like, that girl could be like, we could be tight here. We could take this thing the whole way. Um, it's also, we're very, very different in terms of, I don't think anyone would ever catch it. So
Hmm.
she's probably one. And then, there's another person that when we were at the hotel going to the bus, the first person that I saw, we kind of connected, and we've been like kind of unintentionally being like around each other a lot. Um, but other than that, I'm trying not to like go too deep with
Hmm.
who I'm gonna play with right now because I know that everything is going to change once we can start talking. So I hope that I'm sure that's not a great answer, but yeah, that's where my mind is right now.
Well, I'm definitely looking at the strong. Obviously, we need strength, and there's two gentlemen here. One is a little bit older, but he looks like a powerhouse. I feel like he looks like he's very controlled, very like a methodical thinker. I think he'd be a hard worker, and he's someone that I definitely would love to have on my tribe. And then there's another tall gentleman with long dreads. He reminds me of like an MMA fighter or a boxer. Like he seems really badass. I think he's going to be really good in the challenges. And he's obviously, I'm sure everyone has brought him up because he's just big and strong and looks like he'd be very good. There's also another girl that she's got poof, like a big whole bunch of hair, very pretty. She's got a beautiful smile, seems very kind, but I feel like she's real badass. And I think that she's someone that I would love to be teamed up with too, because I think like we could work well together.
Now, how about on the opposite side? Is there anyone on your, for lack of a better term, no fly list when it comes to
Yeah,
potential allies?
there's a few that like don't even look at you. I feel like they look scared and I can't read them at all. And so when I can't read someone, it's something that like I would want to stay away from. I don't know if they're the type that would open up and want to be, like I don't know, it's hard to read these people, but any of them that aren't smiling and are just like stone faced, not my cup of tea.
Okay, so I'm going to start with someone who I think you and I both know, and that is AW, who I recognize to be a RHAP podcaster. So yeah, I saw her and I was like, I think it's her, got a little closer, was like, I'm 99% sure, heard like the smallest snippet of her voice. I was like, I'm 100% sure that is an RHAP podcaster. Would love to work with her. Have no intentions of telling anybody that she's an RHAP podcaster because that would also reveal that I know who a really niche commentator of Survivor is. And I think if I'm trying to blow up her spot for being a super fan in that way, I'd be, simultaneously taking myself down too. But would love to work with her. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of RHAP. Think she's amazing and like that would be great. Um, Also, Almond Mom. I don't even know if she is a mother. I don't know if she has children, but
She
like
could be mother.
well, that's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, she is mother to me. I'm obsessed with her. Like, I love her vibes. Just like the woman who's a little bit older than the rest of us with blonde hair. She seems like one of my friend's moms who I'd like sit around the counter and drink wine with and talk shit with, and like, I would love to be with her. Yesterday, she was wearing like head to toe blue, and I'm like, I don't know if this is like an overt signal to all of us that you're on the blue tribe, which I'm on the red tribe. So I kind of mourned just in preparation that she will not be with me, but would love to eventually get to play with her. There's a guy who's tall who has some facial hair, um, and he's skinny, and he just kind of reminds me of New Jersey. Like he looks like sort of an amalgamation of like all the cross country boys from my high school and like every line cook from every restaurant I've worked in, which is like
Ah,
oddly like really like comforting to me. There's
ah.
a there's a Hawaiian girl who has a really like nice smile. She's charming the pants off of everybody. I saw her at the airport like chatting up the guy at the ticket line. I've seen her she's made me feel good. I'm sure she's made everybody feel good, so I think she'll do really well. I could go on and on,
Mm.
dude. I
Well,
really
let's go to the other side. Name a couple
yeah.
people that maybe you're not picking up some good vibes from.
Yeah, so there's two. So, one of them has the haircut that I had all throughout high school, which is like down pin straight down to my shoulders. It's a dude. He parts it like at his ear. I think his initials are AR. Um, I've seen him every step of this process. Literally, when I was at my finals, I saw him, and he's just giving me nothing, absolutely nothing. Like, I've convinced myself he hates me. Anything I've gotten for him has just been that, like that, dead eyes,
Hmm.
just like. And so there's him, and then there's also the other guy with shoulder length hair. Both of them have been putting it up in man buns, which is like questionable. Um, and so both of them, and I've also just convinced myself that they will be on my starting tribe, and I've just started to try and mentally prepare myself for that. But yeah, both of them have just been giving at like they have not been playing the eye contact game, have not been playing the wink game, and I'm like, I don't get that.
Mm.
So obviously they could be very different, but that's where I'm at.
Ooh, that's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't know any names. I can
That's
only
okay.
describe
Describe them.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only describe them to
Paint a
you.
picture.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do a little like Picasso little moment for you guys, but I think that someone that's gonna be my greatest ally is gonna have to be the biggest dude out there. I kind of see myself at like becoming a good alliance with the big dogs because those are usually the ones that everyone wants as a target post merge. And so I kind of want to use them as a shield in order to get farther in the game. So if I'm still in a good alliance with them, at least they'll always be like, oh, look, this person's a target, this person's a target. And I kind of just want to be the one that's kind of the puppet master. But I feel like the biggest dudes that I've been seeing are the black guy with the twists and the white guy that's like I would say he was about 6'2", and he has dark hair, and he kind of looks like he's been in the military before, honestly. He's like ridiculously in shape. So I kind of want to roll with the big dogs, and that's my whole thing is that I want to show Hawaii can roll with big dogs, and those are the biggest dogs. I want to pick the biggest dogs on my team.
Well, what about on the other side of things? Who do you not want to roll with here? Who's not part of your flight crew for this 26-day voyage?
Great question. Who will be getting immediately evacuated from the from the flight deck is going to have to be it's gonna have to be there's this one um girl who I overheard that she needed a specific type of towel or something, and it kind of seems like she's been a little bit high maintenance this whole time. And so I think that my personality doesn't vibe with someone that's very high maintenance. And so I think that she would have to be immediately we'd have to bust a slide and she'd have to slide down in an aircraft, if you will. That would be my biggest explanation there. Evacuate it immediately.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I was just talking about this kind of in my head and to some of the producers here, but I feel like everybody has great vibes this season. Like there's not really anybody here who's just throwing me off where it's like that's going to be a person we need to steer away from. Everybody seems really chill. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's in good nature. Now I know the game hasn't started yet, and people are gonna stab you in the back in a couple of days. But right now it seems like it's pretty chill. But I do have a couple. I would say if I get tribed up with, I think that we'll connect immediately. So I have a few people in mind.
Describe them to me if you can.
Yeah, well, there's a couple. I'd say there's one guy here who's pretty athletic too. We obviously we can't talk, but there's a couple situations where we just laughed at a few things together and just kind of were looking at certain situations and you could tell we were on the same page about what was going on and what we were laughing about. There's another girl here as well who also now this might be very, very, very minor, but I already told myself I was going to do this. If there was anybody else here who had locks like I did, I was immediately going to make that one of the things to turn us
There we
into
go. Long hair,
friends.
do care, do want to work
Yeah,
with you.
exactly. And I already got our tribe name. We're gonna be locked in, so it's already like we're good to go. So I'm just ready to like work with her if I can. But there's just a lot of amazing people. There's another woman here who just has a very infectious smile. Like it just seems like she's genuinely happy just at everything. I mean, when I tell you she smiles at everything, it doesn't matter. Her water can fly across the table. She's just smiling, chasing it down the block. Like she's smiling at everything. And I just feel like that type of energy you'll like in this situation because you're out here in the middle of nowhere with nothing. Like you need something to be happy about and keep your mind in a positive. And I think people with that infectious type of, mindset, I think it's all on you.